Absolutely.
What do you think this election is going to be about? What are the two...
Corruption, number one.
You think it's going to be on corruption?
Well, employment and unemployment are obviously one of the key issues. But in the minds of most people, misbehavior, family and friends government.
You think that's a selling message that will work for you?
Well, I won't say selling. It's a factor. It's a factor. But you see, the factors depends on who you are talking to. Middle class, urban, educated, poor will have different criteria of their voting decisions. Some will vote for a particular person because of their ethnicity, where they come from. There are so many factors.
So but corruption...
Job creation. Job creation is so very important.
They have done NAPCO.
Yes, but we are going to do NAPCO as well. NAPCO is not going to be scrapped. In fact, we have talked about giving permanent jobs for NAPCO members, and that's when
you had
MPP,
8 years. You didn't know that.
I'm saying that there was no NAPCO when we existed.
Yeah, but you
so
would have created it.
No,
it means you were not.
All governments
ingenious.
create different things. We also created different things. You don't just say that. Governments are continuous. Even in 20 years' time, some governments will come and create things that you and I haven't thought about and haven't created today. We created a commander factory, and you just came and killed it. That tells people your mindset when it comes to industrialization, because we didn't create the commander factory for myself or my family. We created it for all Ghanaians who wanted sugar not to be imported. But you are still importing sugar today. There's not 1 cube of sugar made in Ghana because of the failed policies of the MPP. So that will be a factor that those in the commander area and other sugar growing areas will take into account.
You have mentioned corruption.
Yes,
do you
sir.
really have credibility as a party to talk about corruption?
It depends on.
And you think that
it depends. For corruption, I think that a former president said it was invented during Adam and Eve or whatever. It has existed.
John Kufuor.
It has existed since Adam and Eve. So yes, most countries, and Jerry John Rawlings would tell you that he did his best. He said to me at one time, you have to spend 70% of your time fighting corruption if you really want it reduced. So of course, some governments have spent more time trying to reduce corruption than others. And at this government, what we see are no attempt at all to stop corruption or to actually to reduce it. It's more to encourage it.
So in terms of in terms of corruption, they have done better, you think?
I don't understand
as in
that.
being corrupt.
If you take it from the adverse and negative point of view, yes, they've done a very bad job of fighting corruption. They terminated terminated the appointment, or actually made him, unviable. That is the Domelovo, the Auditor General.
He's on leave.
They've made him unviable. There's not going to come back while they're in office, because the office ends in January next year.
Are you sure about that?
Well, that's what we expect Ghanaians to do in the coming election.
Why should they change and bring you back, even though they remove you?
You see, the president said, one of the things the president said, I think most Ghanaians will remember, is that I will not support or create a family and friends government. He made that statement. Nobody forced him to say that. He said it before the elections. I think he probably said it even at the swearing in. It's okay. So Ghanaians say, okay, let's see. Then the first thing you do are family and friends. Nobody disputes the wealth of knowledge in his family. But why doesn't he allow the very smart people in his family to find jobs in Unilever, to find jobs in Talo, to find jobs in Cadbury and Fan Milk and so many other companies in Ghana? Why? But to insist that I will make sure that my family members get public appointments. You know the effect of that? Just that one decision that you make as a president. Oh, I see. Other MPP people, not NDC people, who have also been appointed to places, when they realize that because your family members are there, you have lost control over certain aspects of governance, will then begin to misbehave, because they know you can't do very much to them when you have not able to do anything to your family members. Even you have appointed them to show that everybody should go and loot the national treasury.
There cannot be a serious industry without serious power supply.
Absolutely, and NDC
did more.
NDC did more. NDC did more to provide power supply than any other previous government of the Republic of Ghana under John Mahama.
Regardless,
5,000 megawatts of potential production capacity. Now, even the minister, who I think at one time had to admit that they have not added 1 megawatt, MPP. They have not added 1 megawatt of power to what NDC left. They even accused us of having oversupplied the country, and therefore they're cutting back on the transactions. Look at the Power deal, for example, where the president said he was misled by his minister when they were trying to inflate the length of time and therefore the cost of a power plant. What was that all about? NDC left a power plant. If you want to add more power plants or do something else in another sector, fine. But to come and re-engineer the power plant and to make it more expensive to the point where the minister has to resign, and then you don't investigate that problem. The American deal just went out of the skies. Nobody investigated it, even though a minister resigned. Rawlings, to his credit, 6 ministers of Rawlings had to leave his office in 1996. Colonel Osewusu, I think he was Minister of Interior at the time, Ajay, the brother of the senior minister at the time, this current senior minister.
Okay,
Osafo Mafu's brother, Ajay Mafu, was in charge of agriculture or cocoa affairs. And Ibrahim Adam, Minister for Agriculture at the time. And Ato from Kwashi, from Central Region, had to resign. Even the Prime Minister himself, de facto Prime Minister, P.V. Obeng, because
had to leave the government.
To leave government in order to sanitize the government. In fact, Rawlings should admit.
It's good you've introduced Rawlings because that's the next subject.
Yeah,
I'll come back.
If he hadn't done that in 1996, he may not have won the 1996 election.
I'll come back.